Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Thursday, January 20th, 2022. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. One thing that's for sure here is price is extending its losses here for the month and heading toward the previous month's low. So ever since it gave up here this previous month's midpoint, that was the key level early on. It was trying to hold it, failed. It opens up the previous month's low. That's right here. That's 44.92. Right now, the ES is averaging about 79 points per day on both a 5 and 10 day split. So about 80 points per day. So if we find the high of the day today on this pullback and we begin to sell off, we could easily see a push into that 44.92. For example, right now 44.50, right around that is the high there. We could be looking easily at a push back below the 44.90 level up ahead. So that right there could put us into the key range low finally after giving up the top, sealing the top, failing at the mid, and this is the only level left to go. So while this is a fade here after trend day, any pullback this morning could be seen as a selling opportunity as high as the previous session's midpoint 45.60. That could lead to some selling pressure down below. Again, wherever that high might be this morning, project lower about 80 points, and that could be an easy downside target down the road. So what does that mean longer term? Because again, that's just for today's idea. But longer term, how does the market respond to 4,500? How does it respond to that key range low? Because if there's a failure there, you have these downside targets up ahead. You have major support down here, and you're looking at, you know, the next major downside target being 42.25, 42.26, based on the yearly pivots. You took both the yearly high and close offered to begin the year. Now you're dropping below the pivot range top. Here's the mid. Here's the midpoint here of the previous year. So again, we have some downside that could be seen ahead if this LVN is taken out and this key range low is taken out. But as we know, these key ranges are very, very powerful. So if there's a rejection here, we could easily bounce right back in and stay within the range. So we'll continue to watch that level. If we take a look at the NQ here, now the NQ looks very similar, but has already broken market structure. If you look here, you can see, you know, just bringing this across this way. If you want to bring it maybe even across these lows, however you look at it, we got a major push through that zone. We pulled back, and now we're driving to new lows yet again. We've already met the midpoint here of this prior distribution, and then you have the lower edge of this range here. So we've already reached it here. So we could still bounce and see rally back toward, you know, 15.5 and still be a selling opportunity for a drop toward the lower edge of this range, since it's giving it up right here. So the fact that it's giving up that market structure right now suggests that we could also be looking at more lows ahead. Based on the yearly pivots, the midpoint of the previous year is 14,487 there. So again, taking the close offered here, dropping below the top of the pivot range. Here's the midpoint of the pivot range, the central pivot point, and a failure there again opens up this zone. Once we get here, this might be the next big opportunity to watch for, an opportunity to buy things and look for a major rejection. But right now, every bounce could be seen as a selling opportunity until proven otherwise, as this market continues to persist in this downtrending phase. If we take a look here at crude oil, crude is down about 0.25% or almost 0.25%. We mentioned here recently that over the last couple of days that, you know, this might be the end of this move as we head into that 86. The 86 zone is the top end of the market structure there. After reclaiming 76, we got 10-point market structure there. We also have the previous year's high, and look at how price has held at these highs here. It closed beyond it, hit that 86 level yesterday, hit 86.79, pulled back and closed lower, and developed a blue day there here. That's kind of a squat bar there that could indicate that maybe we are a couple of days from pulling back here. So If we do pull back, this trend has been very, very strong, but we have hit the edge of market structure. So if we're going to reach these key range targets here from that key range, any pullback as deep as 79 could still be in play for a continuation up. So any pullback, even as deep as that, could still be a buying opportunity for 87 and 96 down the road. Will we see a pullback that deep? Will we see a pullback even deeper into the bottom of market structure? As we know, when price goes through, there's a tendency to come back toward the bottom and bounce back up and stay in this market structure. So theoretically speaking, based on market structure, 76 could be a pullback low. Not really going to see much more below that. Expecting price to stay above 76s with a shot to continue higher. I don't even know if we get to 76s. So I think right now, anything below 79, 80 could be an opportunity here for a big push up. We haven't even tested the 8-period average. So failed new lows might be enough to get this thing going to the next target. That's 87.63. So any little pullback. So you have 2 days here. Perhaps tomorrow is a failed new low with a shot to push into this target and maybe go toward 90 up ahead. That's the most likely path right there. So we'll continue to watch crude oil as it makes its way toward those upside key range targets. Looking at Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin's up 2% today. Right now up 2%. Looking at this decline here, very, very mature decline. Over here we had a 1 month decline, and on this low, that higher low began to develop here, and it's developing basically at the exact same spot, that 40,000 level. Is this more of the same, and are we about to see this drive higher yet again? Are we about to see this move happen again right away? Or does the existing downtrend persist and we push through 40K and drop lower? Again, market structure has been significant. That 40,000 level has been significant. But the reaction hasn't been significant, which means that we could easily eat through that support level. But if I'm being honest, last time the reaction didn't look significant either. And instead it was news related type of item here that got this thing going higher. Headline risk there, positive headline risk pushed this thing higher, but at the time it also was looking weak. You had this signal here and price eating through, and it appeared as though this move was about to happen. That's what's happening now. It looks very similar in that it looks like this could happen here, but last time positive headline risk here save it, positive headline risk saved it over here. Will we start to see some of the same soon? So we've got to continue to watch the key levels there. Lastly, looking at Ether futures here. This one's up 2.78%. It dipped its toe below 3,000 once here so far this year and has bounced back up above 3,300. And it too has a very similar structure to what Bitcoin has, and to what happened back in that September timeframe. So overall, the 2750 level is still below. That's the key level right there that makes a lot of sense. We're still in a downtrending phase. We still have predominantly sell signals with a bearish PIMA trigger zone. So unless something significant happens here and we push through this pivot high and start to rally, everything still points to perhaps more sideways to down price action. Sideways because we are at VWAP, so we can continue to kind of do this a little bit. Down bias because again everything continues to see a downward bias at the moment. The PIMAs are stacked and sloped in a bearish trend, lower highs, lower lows. So again, while we still may see a little bit of weakness, 2750 is going to be a level to watch for a bounce. But like that 40K level, if there's a failure, perhaps we get a bigger opening down below. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.